The new Tudor Blue Boutique Edition Chronograph is a winner, guys. It's a step in the right direction for Tudor. Only issue with Tudors is they're too thick. This being a chronograph, date B01 movement, Breitling movement, needs that additional housing. So, in essence, it is the best Tudor on the market so far and the best value Tudor for money if you're buying one at MSRP. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you're a subscriber, thanks very much. If not, consider hitting the subscribe button, and let's get into this awkward video about my love-hate relationship with the brand Tudor, the poor man's Rolex. I know I am up and down. One minute I love them, next minute I hate them. Well, that could be because I'm a watch collector. I am into watches, it's my hobby. It's always amused me how these very famous people collect cards, those grade 10 cards, and they pay millions and millions of pounds for paper in plastic. But they get very excited. So just imagine, I get very excited around watches. And on a recent video, I gushed on how nice the new Tudor Blue Boutique Edition Chronograph is. And I got a lot of flack for, hey, you're saying how nice it is, you want to buy the bloody watch now, and last week you were slagging it off. I don't deny it, guys, but I'm going to try and explain it to you from the mind of a watch collector. I've always wanted to keep a Tudor in my collection. I should have kept the black base stainless steel. However, the bracelet was god awful. I've covered this in countless videos. On the Tudor bracelets, they have fake rivets that have no business being there. There's no adjustment. There's no fly adjustment on the clasps. And there's no half links. It's just ridiculous, guys. And even though I love the watch, I then put the watch on a strap. But even then, Tudor likes to mess with your brain, because when you're wearing the watch on your wrist, you're actually looking at the tail of the strap. It's bananas. Whoever designed the bracelets for Tudor watches and straps should move on, unless they already haven't. Last thing, all of the new Tudor bracelets are a different color. I dare you go into a Tudor boutique and look at the bracelets compared to the case. They're a different color because they're made in a different location. Maybe the weather, the price of steel, however this factory is mixing them, they don't match, guys. And then the other side of it was, 3 years ago when I started collecting Tudors, they were a lot cheaper, and you would ignore things like this with Tudors, wouldn't you? Because they were a lot cheaper, but now they're getting more expensive. Right, so, and as a watch collector, if you show me a watch, I will get excited. And I will forget the bad points about a watch and only see good points. Back to me wanting to get a Tudor, and back to me saying 1 minute I do, 1 minute I don't. I know I'm confusing people. I'm going to try and clarify it one last time for the thickos in the audience. A year ago, I bought my last Tudor. It was the latest Tudor, and it was called the Palagos 39. Didn't have fake rivets on the bracelet, full titanium watch with a T-fit clasp. I had a lot of problems with that T-fit clasp on my particular watch. In the full close position, in a full lock, on full extension, you could still close the watch. You could have the watch set perfectly to your wrist, take it off, and by mistake you could knock it and it would close on itself, and then the next time you put it on, it's not in the right position, which just drove me nuts. My Omegas didn't do that. When I set them to the position I wanted and I locked them in, they stayed in that position. That was the first problem I had with the Palagos 39. My movement on my particular model was all over the place. The beats were too high. 1 minute it would be the right time, next minute it would jump 20 seconds. I'm not making this up. Went back to Tudor service center. They couldn't fix it. In the end, they damaged the watch, and I had to personally polish the watch to get it up to shape so that I could move it on. They scratched the bejesus out of that watch. If you go back through, you'll see a video I did on that particular incident. Last thing about the watch, I remember I bought this Tudor, assuming it was my last Tudor. The loom pots, it has a different loom pots on the hands and on the inner sits, guys, and on the bezel. 3 different loom pots with the hour hand fading completely fading in under an hour. So the watch was crap. Got rid of it, and then I've always wanted another Tudor. I've just wanted to have a Tudor in the collection. So then I thought, right, what could I do? What was my best Tudor? What was my favorite Tudor? And it always was the Panda. Now, the Tudor Panda has some problems, guys. Without repeating myself, it's got that terrible bracelet still, hasn't it? The white dial is not legible with the white hands, and the date wheel is a different color white than the dial. It just, I still have this love-hate relationship with Tudor, and I want to have a Tudor watch in my collection. And the Chronograph, my Panda, even though I had problems with that watch, and I've discussed that numerous times, was still my favorite watch. It has a Breitling movement with slight upgrades, but it's still a Breitling B01 movement with refinements, according to Tudor. Let's try and unpack this. I want a Tudor in my collection. Tudor has just brought out this new bracelet, this new 5-link bracelet, their version of a Jubilee bracelet. And up close, it is as good as a Rolex bracelet. It is, guys. If you take a good look at it, you'll be very impressed with that. Now, the clasp is not the same as a Rolex clasp, but their T-fit clasp on this bracelet is really good. And I had a good play with it yesterday. I closed it and I tried to make it go down forcibly, and it wouldn't. The manager of the boutique, a very nice guy, was into this, and he tried and he managed to do it, but he didn't really. He slightly released it to allow it to go down. In the end, we thought it was funny that he managed to maybe break it, but he didn't. So I clarified yesterday that the new bracelet on the new Chronograph is perfect. Absolutely perfect. And I have already confirmed that it's not orderable, guys. That price is not orderable. So how do I get into the perfect Chronograph at the moment? And that is by buying that watch, guys. That's the only way to get into that watch at the moment, and that's probably how I confuse people. And I was seriously considering putting a deposit on that watch. I popped into the Tudor Boutique in Manchester yesterday for one reason. As a YouTuber who talks about watches, I needed to get hands-on with the boutique edition blue Chronograph on the new 5-link bracelet. I agree. In a previous video, I pooed all over the watch, saying it's no different. It's just a blue dial with a souped-up bracelet. I agree with you all. That's what I said. But I'm not the only one. On the reverse front, you have YouTubers that I'm not going to mention do full reviews on these watches, and number one, they have very few watches in their own collection. Number two, they have done their reviews from pictures they have, and they're telling you guys to go and buy these watches, or they're telling you guys how innovative these watches are from pictures. So when the watch first came out, I did poo all over it. I said it's just another Tudor with a jumped up, souped up bracelet. I concur, right? But I got hands-on with the watch yesterday, and I was very impressed. Now, there's reasons why I was impressed. If you stick around, it'll make sense. Let's say the watch is 5k and it comes with that bracelet. If I go to the grey market and I buy a black one for 3k and I hate the bracelet and I can't get the watch to fit comfortably on my wrist, and then I reach out to Tudor and they say, we don't supply the bracelet, what am I to do? I have to return it. And luckily for me, the Swiss Link, on the deal I did with them, I was able to return that black chronograph that I just purchased. And sure, it is too thick in one place, it's thick here, but with the right bracelet, I'm pretty sure I can live with it. But again, the option of keeping that watch and not having the bracelet is not there for me, guys. So I'm coming from a place where, you know what, if the only way I can have this 5-link Tudor bracelet that's designed for this particular watch is to buy the bloody watch, then I'll just buy the bloody watch. Because navy and black are so similar, one or the other, it doesn't really matter, guys. So when I went into the Tudor Boutique and I saw the watch, I was very impressed with the color of the blue. Now, one of my subscribers was initially offered the watch, and not here though, and he turned the watch down. He said the blue wasn't all that nice, but that was his opinion, and I took his opinion as gospel. I saw the watch, and from the videos I'm showing you, it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful color, blue. It's a Tudor chronograph with a Breitling movement, upgraded slightly. That's what they'll tell you. It's a very good watch, apart from it's slabbed on one side, and now it has an upgraded bracelet that is as good as a Rolex bracelet, guys. Now, I had a right good look at the bracelet yesterday. I had a good feel of it. I really did look at this bracelet. I explained to the manager the problems I had with bracelets in the locked position. So one of the key things for me yesterday was to get hold of this T-fit clasp, open it, click it into the lock position, as in open it, extend it fully, and then try and close it, try and force it down. It wouldn't move, guys. So I said to the manager, look, it finally works. Tudor has designed a beautiful 5-link bracelet with smaller link spacing, which allows me to get a comfortable fit on the watch, comfortable fit, a wearable watch, and have an adjustment on the fly that stays in position. So they fixed all the problems, haven't they? Apart from the slab side. Now, because it's a chronograph, you're going to have to, a chronograph date, you're going to have to expect the watch to be thicker. So I can live with this, guys. I know I can live with this watch. So my view is, if I want a usable wearable watch now, a chronograph Panda Tudor watch, I'm going to have to buy the boutique edition. To sum up, the new Tudor Blue Boutique Edition chronograph is a winner, guys. It's a step in the right direction for Tudor. Only issue with Tudors is they're too thick. This being a chronograph, date B01 movement, Breitling movement, needs that additional housing. So, in essence, it is the best Tudor on the market so far and the best value Tudor for money if you're buying one at MSRP. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your continued support, and I will catch you all on my next video.